Hey there, folks. Today I'm going to talk more about Fudds. I'm in a hotel in Virginia, and I've got not much to do. So I figured I'd talk more about the Fudd topic, which you guys like. Today I want to talk about really the Fudd mindset, what that is, what that looks like, because there's so many comments like, what is a Fudd? Like, I'm not sure exactly what that is or what that means, or it's this thing or that thing. I can just talk about what I mean when I use that word and could tell a pretty good story to highlight it. And through this story, you'll understand what I mean when I say FUD. And I've had plenty of run-ins with FUDs and all that, but not that this one takes the cake, but it makes a pretty good story. I mean, it's easy to understand and digest what's going on. So, at this big range in a place where I was doing a class, and by big I mean big in membership, big in physical size, and big in terms of the number of disciplines they have there. Big range, big on every level. Really, I would say pretty tightly run. Like there's people running the entire club, people running different disciplines. There's always stuff popping. Like it's a pretty busy club. It's a nice place to be. But as always, wherever you go, there's always going to be FUDs. Anyway, I was scheduled, as I have been at this range many times, scheduled to do a class for a couple days. We're out there, we're setting up our bays, doing the class, we're where we're supposed to be. We have a class organizer there that's communicated with the club board, everything's signed off, everything's approved. I'm just saying this to say, on my side, like me and my class, like we're doing everything we're supposed to do. We're doing the right thing. We're where we're supposed to be, we're setting everything up, we're getting ready for class, we're having a great day. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for the purposes of this story, we had a little FUD interaction. So there was a match director. There's meant to be a match the following day at this range, which is fine. There's plenty of space for everybody. This was not a problem. But there's meant to be a match the following day at the range, and the match director and his boys are coming by to set up the match. And this is like 7:30 a.m. the day before the club match, or sometime like it's early in the morning, like the day before this match. Like again, we were supposed to be where we were, so we're setting up our bays. These other guys come by, and here's a conflict. Now, I should say from the outset, from the beginning of this interaction, I knew the direction it was headed. I knew that the guy, like the FUD that we're interacting with, he is going to get his way. He is going to get what he wants, and I knew that from the jump. I just wanted to see what would happen. And then, well, yeah, I knew he was going to get his way. None of this surprised me, even though it's going to sound a little nuts. So, like, the FUD comes by, meant to set up his match. And I should say, I don't mean FUD to say, like, he's a horrible person. He was actually, I mean, outside of this interaction, he's probably a nice guy. But he's still a FUD for reasons maybe even he can't understand. But he comes by, like sees we're on the base, and here's the deal for him. He wants to set up his match at the time he wants to set up his match. That was very obvious right away. He said, hey, we always set up at this time, blah, 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 blah. Like he wants to set up his stages. Okay, class organizer's there. He's tight with the board, and he's like, no, this is on the schedule. This is on the calendar, which it was. These are our bays. You're not supposed to be here, at least not right now, blah, 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 blah. And here goes and there the interaction goes. I could see the FUD just getting upset. He wants to set up his match, and it doesn't matter that he's, more than 24 hours before the match, and it's none of these circumstances matter. I can just say, he's a creature of habit. He wants to set it up when he wants to set it up. Okay, so the FUD is advised, hey, this is, like, we have this bay. Like, this is ours today. Like, it doesn't really matter what you want. This is ours. Well, guess what? It was conniption time. This guy got very, very upset. Right? And I maintained composure. Like I was pretty nice during the interaction, but I was like, whoa, this guy's getting really upset. Okay, so I move into, let's try to find a middle ground, some kind of other solution. I proposed several. One of them I remember was hey, why don't you just leave the stage diagram here and the stuff, and we'll set it up. Like, we will set it up for you after we're done training for the day. Now, that to me, that seemed like a pretty nice compromise, In my head, I want to start the class on time, and I don't want to have to move all of our props from where they currently are set up to some other place, because that's going to take me a lot of time. But I mean, that's the direction I saw this headed already. So interaction continued, like, no, 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 I've got to put my name on this match. You guys can't build it. I don't trust that. And just kind of looking at him like, oh, okay. I'm like, you can't do that. I think a couple other solutions were proposed even by other guys in the class. I don't remember what they were. But I mean, at no point in the air, this guy never onboarded any of that. He didn't understand he was wrong. He didn't understand that we were where we were supposed to be. He didn't understand he was being completely unreasonable. I mean, he was just insisting we move just because he said so. And at the end of the day, he didn't care who was on the schedule, what the board approved. None of that mattered. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do. And what do you think ended up happening? We moved, of course. The class, we were like, all right, whatever. We pick up, we move. Now, that mentality, that's what I'm talking about when I say a FUD. Like, this just, I'm going to do what I'm going to say, whoosh, right down this lane, and nobody else's opinion, no other information, no other circumstance is going to change what this person wants to do. All right? This is what I mean when I say FUD. Now, there's another thing that's kind of important, and it's a pretty related idea. Rules don't really run ranges. Not really. Like, the rules don't really matter. Now, that sounds nuts. Well, let me explain what I mean. I've been to many shooting ranges. The way they work is this. There's a set of rules that you will follow. You will. And then there's a different set of rules that the people who run the range and their friends will follow. These are typically not very close together. So, for example, like, let's say there'll be posted rules over like, hey, you're not allowed to put targets here. The targets have to go over there. You can't shoot over here, whatever. And then, like, somebody will contact me and, hey, do you want to come here and do a class? I'm like, yeah, cool, sure. The right person talks to the right person. They want to have me come for a class. Show up, and they're like, yeah, you can shoot like up to 180 degrees, whatever. We don't care about that. Those posted rules, we're going to ignore those for you. Now, I'm being honest, like, typically I am a beneficiary of this system. The way ranges are run, if like the right person wants me to come there to do a class, like, we're going to get to do up to the limits of what is actually safe and okay for that range. Like, we're not going to be constrained by rules that don't really matter because the right personalities are going to say, no, we want to do like the real shit. We want to do the real class. Okay. So, like, you can see those two things are really closely related. You have this FUD mentality where it's like new information, different ideas, changing circumstances, like no ability to recognize that. At the end of the day, you have to me, a FUD is a person with a myopic view. They're self-centered and they don't really care what you want. And you can have a person that is volunteering to be a match director or do some other sort of volunteer thing and still have that mindset, which sounds contradictory, but a lot of people volunteer to do things and they'll say it's for you when really it's something for them. Like, it makes them happy in some way, or they get some kind of power, control, whatever. Right? So, I don't really like FUDs, but I do have this cynicism that's in me is when, like, I know, like, you guys may not believe it. Some of you that have been around know what I'm saying is right, but it's just like, I don't take range rules, like posted range rules. I don't typically take them all that seriously, because when the people that really run the range show up, like, well, the rules are going to be different and they're going to be something that I would consider like halfway reasonable. So that to me breeds in a lot of cynicism as well. Okay. So that's my thoughts. Like, that's what a FUD is. It's like it's got to be this way. Like, whatever they decided, whenever 30 years ago, it's still got to be that way. What you think doesn't matter. That's what a FUD is.